Today, we're diving into one of the most infamous moments in rock history, the time Prince opened for the Rolling Stones, and it went horribly wrong. Opening for another artist was nothing new for Prince. He had opened for Rick James a year earlier on his Fire It Up tour. James recalled seeing Prince for the first time, remembering, "My manager brought some tapes over and said, well, there's this kid who's got this record, I Want to Be Your Lover, and I love that record. And I saw some videos of him, and he was cool. I felt that he resembled us a lot. But the two seemed to feud on the road after Prince outplayed the headliner, with James claiming that Prince was also ripping off his moves. So when it came time to open for the Stones, Prince wanted to show up the headliner once again. Let's set the scene. It's October 9th, 1981, and Prince isn't the megastar he'd become later in the decade. He's just a quirky upstart with one falsetto-sung pop-funk hit under his belt, I Want to Be Your Lover. This is before he became a mega superstar with hits like 1999, before Purple Rain, even before Little Red Corvette. But he soon caught the ear of Stones frontman Mick Jagger, who saw Prince perform at the Ritz in New York City during his Dirty Mind tour in 1980. And the tour was set to open with two shows at Memorial Stadium in Los Angeles on October 9th and October 11th. An audience of about 95,000 people were expected to attend each show. Prince was originally booked to open even more shows for the Stones, including two concerts at the Silver Dome in Detroit. Having Prince open for the Stones didn't really seem like a bad or strange idea, as black artists, including Tina Turner, Stevie Wonder, and Billy Preston, had all opened for the Stones. Prince keyboardist Lisa Coleman remembered the feeling in the run-up to those shows in the book Prince the Man and His Music. "We were so excited. We'd rehearsed our little booties off, our funky black asses. This is it, we're gonna make the big time." Prince was scheduled to open the show, followed by George Thorogood and Jay Giles Band, before the Stones took to the stage in the later part of the day. The first day was unseasonably hot, and some members of the audience got there in the morning and had to listen to 3 support acts before the headliner came on. So picture this, it's a sunny afternoon, it's hot, and Prince struts out on stage in his typical attire, a trench coat and bikini briefs. Yeah, you heard that right. Remember, this is 1981 and Prince's provocative style wasn't yet mainstream. Now, Prince wasn't oblivious to his audience. He tried to bridge the gap by playing some of his heavier material, but it didn't matter. The crowd's reaction was immediate and hostile. Drummer Bobby Z recalled how the first moments of the show went in the book A Soldier in Prince's Revolution. So concertgoer Bill Graham comes out and says, "All right, we've got a new act for you today. Boo. Everybody wants the Stones." We start out with, I think, Uptown, and they hear us singing falsetto. They're not interested, they're not willing, they're certainly not tolerant. You've got 3 brothers up there, you've got weird-looking white people in the back. It's new age, weird, punky funk rock, all that stuff they don't want to know about or be interested in. The crowd responded by shouting racist and homophobic comments towards Prince and his band, in addition to tossing objects like bottles, cans, as well as fried chicken on stage. Prince bassist Brown Mark, who played with Prince for the first time that night, recalled, "Next thing I noticed, food was starting to fly through the air like a dark thundercloud. Imagine 94,000 people throwing food at each other. It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen in my life. I got hit in the shoulder with a bag of fried chicken. Then my guitar got knocked out of tune by a large grapefruit that hit the tuning keys." The situation devolved to the point that after Prince played Jackie, promoter Bill Graham had to come on stage and calm down the crowd, but it was no use. The promoter recalled in an interview, "I tried to tell them to give Prince a chance, but they were just too hostile. It was one of the worst reactions I've ever seen." Prince played through only 4 songs and was unable to finish his set. Feeling humiliated, he left the stage in tears and claimed he would not come back for a second show, and immediately flew back home to Minnesota without his band. Prince would tell the LA Times later on, "There was one dude right in the front and you could see the hatred all over his face. The reason I left was because I didn't want to play anymore. I just wanted to fight. I was really angry." But here's where things get interesting. Mick would call Prince, trying to convince him to come back. And what was his advice? Well, it was pretty honest and blunt. He told Prince, "If you get to be a really big headliner, you have to be prepared for people to throw bottles at you in the night. Prepared to die." I told him, "If you want to make it big, you have to face these challenges head on." Can you imagine getting that pep talk from the Stones frontman? It must have worked because Prince did return for the second show on October 11th. One of the radio stations who broadcast from the concert claimed how badly Prince and his band were received. So when fans attended the second show, they had largely already made up their minds about Prince before even seeing him play. But that second performance, Prince and his band managed to finish their set, and in what was surely a dig at the audience, they closed with "Why You Want to Treat Me So Bad?" Talk about sending a message. Guitarist Des Dickerson told Dave Hill regarding the second show, "The first thing I saw was a plastic bag full of old great chicken parts. Someone had taken the time to take the chicken out of the refrigerator on Friday and let it sit out in the sun for 2 days. It was pretty disgusting." Now you might be wondering, what did the Stones think about all this? Well, their reactions were quite different. Mick Jagger was pretty supportive, later calling Prince a great artist who broke a lot of musical modes and invented a lot of styles. Guitarist Keith Richards, meanwhile, stated, "Prince has to find out what it means to be a prince. That's the trouble with conferring a title on yourself before you've proved it." Adding, "His attitude when he opened for us was insulting to our audience. You don't try to knock off the headline like that when you're playing a Stones crowd. He's a prince who thinks he's a king already. Good luck to him." Fast forward to nearly 3 years to August of 1986, and Prince played in London during his Parade tour. At this show, he covered the Stones song "Miss You." Throughout the rest of his career, Prince would continue to cover Stones songs, but he never played with them again at concert. Prince, by the mid-80s, with his newfound stardom, was also the one who triggered the moral panic by Tipper Gore, who started the whole Parents Music Resource Center after she heard the song "Darling Nikki." Prince sadly passed away on April 21st, 2016. Ron Wood, Mick, and Keith all took to social media to express their sympathies. And in a bittersweet twist after Prince's death in 2016, Keith Richards seemed to soften his stance against the artist, describing Prince as, and I quote, "a true original and a great guitar player." Looking back, it's pretty clear that this incident was a pivotal moment in Prince's career. It likely would have broken a lesser artist, but for Prince, it seemed to only fuel his determination. One side story that I came across having to do with these two gigs in LA came from the Los Angeles Times. They had published a story about a week after the Stones played these two shows, and they talked about just the crazy fan excitement and rumors that were going around the city at the time. There was a rumor that the Stones were going to play a secret gig at one of the clubs either in LA or around the city. The rumor was due to the fact that Stones keyboardist Ian Stewart played a guest set with George Thorogood and the Destroyers at a club in Reseda. About 100 fans lined up outside the venue, hoping another member or members of the Stones would show up, but they didn't. There was another rumor going on at the time that the Stones were going to be attending a show by the Go-Go's at the Greek Theater. The Go-Go's had previously opened for the Stones, but the rumor never came to fruition. Then some fans of the Stones drove from club to club in and around LA, hoping to get a glimpse of the Stones, but they'd be disappointed. Apparently, also fueling rumors was that people were scalping tickets for $250 a piece to an imaginary Stones show at the Roxy. The doorman at the club had to break the bad news to people who bought the tickets. Then we had a story of how far Stones fans went to meet the band or get their autographs. Most of the members were staying at Westwood Marquis Hotel, and some fans even got a glimpse of Bill Wyman and Charlie Watts. One woman made it as far as Mick Jagger's floor where he was staying, and she talked to a security guard of his for about an hour, but was unsuccessful in meeting the frontman. Meanwhile, another fan met Mick's 9-year-old daughter at the time, Jade. He asked her to go get an autograph from her dad, but when she returned to the lobby, she was empty-handed. That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in Rock Culture Stories. Take care.